I'm going to show you how to repair the Microswitch on the Delonghi Magnifica coffee machine. We encountered an issue with this machine recently where effectively it kept signaling that the grounds drawer was full and needing emptying, or that the ground drawer wasn't present. So what transpires is there's a small microswitch at the back and underneath the machine, which effectively allows the grounds drawer to extinguish and that red light to go out. I simply just removed that to show you what the indicator was there that we were experiencing before I repaired this machine. But I'll show you how to get inside this machine and very quickly repair the microswitch. So the very first thing you want to do is switch the machine off at the mains and ensure you've isolated power. So do that first. The second thing you might want to do is if you've got beans in the machine still, you probably want to tape this down across here, because if you don't, you're going to get coffee beans all over the counter and it's going to be a pain to clean up. Second thing you want to do is go ahead and remove the water. Like that. And remove the drip tray and the coffee ground collector as well. The next job really is to tilt the machine onto the back so that you can access the bottom panel. Do not try and remove the side panel, the back panel. You can't get to the microswitch that way. Okay, so you need to tilt it onto its back and get to the bottom. Okay, so once you've got the machine on the back like this, what you're going to find is there's 5 screws to remove. Okay, some of the screws are out because I've already started to remove them on this machine. But the important thing to note is these are special screws, so you're not going to be able to remove these with a normal screwdriver bit. If you look at them briefly, you think they're Torx, but if you look in the middle, they've got a special rounded piece there. These are Torx security screws, and you're going to need a special bit for this to remove it. So if I can bring the bit into shot here. What you're looking at is that type of bit there to remove them. It has to have a circle cut out the bit in the middle to kind of fit in there, right? So to save you all some time and to make sure you get the right bit, what you're going to need to get hold of is I think it's a T20H, yes. The important bit being the H. That distinguishes the security, the fact that it's a security Torx bit apparently. So I'll just bring that into shot there. So that's what I'm using. It's a T20H secure bit. It looks like that. It's very obvious that you've got the right size. I tried a T15 before this, it just doesn't fit properly. So it's definitely a T20H, and that will allow you to access the bottom panel. So go ahead and remove all 5 screws from the panel, and the panel will come away quite easily. You may need to use just a flat blade screwdriver to gently pry it, but you should have no problems getting in there. Okay, so this is the view with the panel removed. Now, what you might want to do while you've got the machine open is this panel gets a bit grubby. You might want to go and wash that with some warm soapy water. If you do that, do let it dry thoroughly before you put the machine back together, because there is mains voltage inside this machine and to the switch, I believe. So be very careful about getting water in here. You don't want water trapped in the bottom of the machine, ideally. So give it a wash, let it dry, and then you can put it back together. You can clean other parts of the machine while you're in here if you need to. But the switch in question is actually down here. So this is the micro switch at the back of the coffee grinds drawer. It doesn't actually detect whether the coffee grinds drawer is actually full. It basically uses a kind of timer function to kind of warn you when the coffee drawer might be full, but nonetheless this was causing us a particular problem. So what I suggest you do is, before you do anything, take a picture of this so that you know what it looks like before, and that you can get the wiring in the right place. Now, to remove this, it's very simple. What you want to do is you just need to put a Phillips head screwdriver in here, and the unit will come away. So let's go ahead and do that. Just very gently. Try and do this one-handed, apologies. Do this. Okay, so nothing clever here, really. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, you may not even need to remove it all the way, but you know, a bit more. And you'll see why in a second, because this is actually on 2 pins. And it being on 2 pins, it's probably not the best screwdriver I'm using. It being on 2 pins allows it to come away like this. And then these are just spade connectors on there. So what you can do is go ahead and remove those connectors. Again, noting that you need to get this the right way around when you put it back in, so hence why I suggested taking a picture so you know exactly which way it goes in. I'll put a link to the part number replacement switch down below so you can go and source it. The switch is really, really cheap actually. In the UK, the shipping was more expensive, a lot more expensive than the part, and it nonetheless, still cheaper than replacing the coffee machine. So this is what it looks like when the part comes out. It's just a little micro switch. I think the switch on this one is slightly broken. It's kind of intermittent, to be honest, what we found out. And on the back, you've got some identifying markers. I don't know if they're going to show up on camera particularly well, but anyway, I'll put the link to the part number down below. Anyway, so what you do is effectively, get a new one of these, order it off the internet or wherever, and then just literally put it back in. So that's the old one I just showed you there, and you put it back in very simply. There's two lugs there, and it locates on those lugs, so you can't really put it in incorrectly. Once it's on those lugs, it's fine, and then all you do is simply tighten it up. Okay, so I've tightened it back up, and then it's just a case of replacing the case. At the bottom of the case here, there are some little lugs. So you just need to get that lined up like that, and you press. So if you haven't got it right, it won't go on. So you just need to kind of line the bottom up first, push it in, and get it. So it's a bit fiddly, but it's not too bad. Okay, so the 5 screws are now back in. There's actually 2 down here. This hole didn't have one in for me, it's just an empty hole, but those are the positions of the 5 screws, 2 down here, but anyway, back in. So you just tighten them up gently. There's no need to get them too tight, it's pretty obvious when it's on. They kind of bind in themselves, so don't over tighten them, no need. Now I'm in the UK, so I bought this component from a company called Mouser Electronics. They have an internet store. It arrived within a couple of days once I ordered it. And if we look at the part number there, that's the part number that I ordered. So hopefully that's useful to you. I think this is the manufacturer's part number there. You can see. So if you search for that number, the one that ends in C1.0, that's actually a manufacturer's part number, I believe. A31700C1.0 is the actual part number you need for this. So finally, once the machine's all back together, you should be able to make yourself a cup of coffee, and you should have no more issues with the drip tray / coffee grind sensor there.